Floyd Mayweather, a name synonymous with boxing brilliance, has long been a polarizing figure in the sport. His career, marked by an undefeated record and a knack for turning fights into financial windfalls, continues to spark debates about his legacy, opponent selection, and potential return to the ring. Mike Tyson, speaking on a podcast with Shaquille O'Neal, offered a scathing assessment of Mayweather's approach, suggesting that while Floyd has amassed heavyweight-level earnings, he has avoided the true heavyweight threats like Oleksandr Usyk. Tyson argued that Mayweather's return to boxing would likely involve carefully chosen opponents, those who pose minimal risk but guarantee significant paydays. The idea of Mayweather facing someone as formidable as Usyk, according to Tyson, is unthinkable, as Floyd's career has been built on calculated decisions rather than embracing dangerous challenges. The conversation around Mayweather's potential comeback often circles back to his strategic opponent selection. Analysts and fans alike note that Floyd's fights are less about proving himself against the toughest competition and more about preserving his perfect record while maximizing revenue. For instance, a hypothetical matchup with Jake Paul, a YouTuber-turned-boxer, has been floated as a lucrative but low-risk option. Similarly, a fight against Terence Crawford, a pound-for-pound elite, has been mentioned, though it seems unlikely given Crawford's skill set and Mayweather's preference for safer bets. Even a nostalgic clash with Roy Jones Jr., another legend whose prime overlapped with Floyd's, has been discussed, though it's met with skepticism. Many believe such a fight would draw interest primarily because fans want to see Mayweather lose, but the consensus is that Floyd would still outclass Jones at this stage, given his defensive mastery and Jones's diminished reflexes. Mayweather's defensive genius is often highlighted by commentators like Joe Rogan, who has praised Floyd's ability to stand directly in front of opponents while remaining nearly untouchable. His subtle movements, shoulder rolls, slight leans, and impeccable timing frustrate opponents, forcing them into mistakes that Floyd capitalizes on with surgical precision. Rogan emphasizes that Mayweather's style isn't about flashy knockouts or relentless aggression but about controlling the fight's rhythm psychologically and physically. This approach, while not always crowd-pleasing, has cemented Floyd's reputation as one of the most technically proficient boxers ever. Some, including Rogan, argue he might be the greatest of all time, a claim echoed by many fighters who admire his unmatched elusiveness and strategic brilliance. However, the idea of Mayweather facing a heavyweight like Usyk brings a different perspective to the table. Usyk, a three-time undisputed champion across cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, represents a challenge that seems far outside Floyd's comfort zone. Usyk's legacy is built on taking the hardest road possible, facing elite opponents at their peak without hesitation. His victories over Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Daniel Dubois, often in their home territories, demonstrate a willingness to embrace challenges that Mayweather has historically avoided. Usyk's technical mastery, particularly his footwork, draws comparisons to Mayweather, but his courage in facing physically imposing heavyweights sets him apart. Usyk's footwork, often described as balletic, is a cornerstone of his dominance. Analysts like Paulie Malignaggi have lauded his ability to shift angles subtly, maintaining perfect balance while keeping opponents off-kilter. This intelligent movement, combined with his precise range control, allows Usyk to dictate the pace of fights, making even world-class heavyweights look ordinary. Malignaggi points out that Usyk's style doesn't rely on brute force but on outthinking and outmaneuvering opponents, a trait that echoes Mayweather's defensive artistry. However, unlike Mayweather, Usyk's career is defined by taking on the biggest challenges available, regardless of the odds or circumstances. The boxing world has been abuzz with speculation about Usyk's next move, especially after he stated he likely has only one fight left in him. Names like Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois have surfaced as potential opponents, though nothing has been confirmed. Promoters like Frank Warren have indicated interest in pushing for Parker, but as Usyk's team has emphasized, the decision ultimately rests with him. His willingness to fight anyone, anywhere, without prolonged negotiations or excuses, has earned him universal respect. Unlike many boxers who engage in drawn-out talks or dodge mandatory challengers, Usyk signs contracts and gets to work, a rarity in today's sport. This no-nonsense approach was evident in his rematch with Dubois, where he decisively shut down any lingering controversy from their first encounter. The initial fight sparked debate over a low-blow call, with some accusing Usyk of exaggerating the foul to buy time. However, in the rematch, Usyk left no room for doubt, stopping Dubois early and showcasing his technical superiority. Commentators noted that a wet ring in the first fight may have hindered Usyk's footwork, but in the rematch, his movement was described as stupendous and magnificent, allowing him to dominate Dubois with ease. This performance further solidified Usyk's reputation as a fighter who thrives under pressure and silences critics with his in-ring brilliance. Usyk's journey from cruiserweight to heavyweight is a testament to his adaptability and resilience. Moving up in weight wasn't just about gaining pounds. It required evolving his style to compete against much larger opponents. His back-to-back wins over Joshua, a physically imposing heavyweight, showcased his ability to outsmart and outwork bigger men. Beyond the ring, Usyk's decision to pause his career to serve his country during wartime added another layer to his legacy, highlighting a courage that transcends boxing. This combination of skill, discipline, and heart has led analysts to place Usyk in the same conversation as all-time greats like Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. The debate over Usyk's place in boxing history is heating up, with some arguing he's already a top 5 all-time great, while others place him in the top 10. His resume is staggering: undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, with wins over elite fighters like Gassiev, Briedis, Bellew, Joshua, Fury, and Du Bois, often in hostile environments. His ability to beat the best in their prime, without relying on tune-up fights or waiting for opponents to decline, sets him apart. For comparison, one analyst ranks Mayweather first, Pacquiao second, Muhammad Ali third, followed by Sugar Ray Robinson, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones Jr., and Usyk at 8th. While Ali's resume is considered superior due to its depth and cultural impact, Usyk's technical prowess and 2-division dominance make a strong case for his inclusion among the all-time elite. Mayweather, by contrast, is often critiqued for his selective matchmaking. While his defensive mastery is unquestioned, his career lacks the high-stakes, high-risk fights that define Usyk's path. Floyd's recent exhibitions, such as his bouts against John Gotti III, highlight his ability to generate headlines and revenue without risking his legacy. In one such fight, chaos erupted when the referee stopped the bout prematurely, and Mayweather, also acting as the promoter, fired the referee mid-fight, a move that underscored his control over every aspect of his events. These spectacles, while entertaining, reinforce the perception that Floyd prioritizes financial gain over competitive challenges. Usyk, on the other hand, has never shied away from adversity. His training methods, influenced by his longtime friend and fellow Ukrainian vassal Lomachenko, incorporate unconventional techniques like ballet and gymnastics, contributing to his fluid, almost effortless movement in the ring. This brutal ballerina style, as one commentator described it, allows Usyk to stay just out of reach while remaining close enough to counterattack with precision. His nickname, the Cat, reflects his ability to make opponents miss and pay, embodying the sweet science's core principle of hitting without being hit. Lennox Lewis, a heavyweight legend, recently expressed his admiration for Usyk, stating he would have relished the challenge of facing him. Lewis believes he could have figured out Usyk, a bold claim that underscores the Ukrainian's reputation as a complex puzzle for even the greatest heavyweights. Lewis's comments highlight Usyk's dominance in an era where no active fighter has consistently challenged him. His victories over Joshua, Fury, and Du Bois, each a top-tier heavyweight, demonstrate a level of mastery that leaves analysts like Chris Algieri in awe. Algieri notes that Usyk doesn't just win, he makes elite opponents look pedestrian, using distance, timing, and strategy to dismantle them systematically. The contrast between Mayweather and Usyk extends beyond their fighting styles to their philosophies. Mayweather's career is a masterclass in control over opponents, narratives, and finances. He fights on his terms, choosing opponents who fit his strategy of preserving his undefeated record while securing massive paydays. Usyk, conversely, embodies the warrior spirit, taking on the toughest challenges regardless of weight class, location, or public perception. While Mayweather's precision and defensive genius make him a technical marvel, Usyk's willingness to face giants like Joshua and Fury in their prime elevates him in the eyes of those who value courage alongside skill. The discussion around Usyk's next fight underscores his unique position in boxing. With his legacy secure, he has little left to prove, yet the boxing world remains captivated by who he might face next. A crossover fight with an MMA star has been floated, but many believe it would diminish his accomplishments, as Usyk's greatness lies in his ability to conquer boxing's best, not in chasing celebrity bouts. Joseph Parker, a durable and willing contender, is a name frequently mentioned, but Usyk's team has made it clear that any fight depends on his desire to continue. His statement about having only one fight left has intensified speculation, as fans and promoters alike wonder who will get the chance to face a living legend. Ultimately, the comparison between Mayweather and Usyk highlights two different paths to greatness. Mayweather's legacy is built on precision, strategy, and an unblemished record, but it's tempered by criticism that he avoided the most dangerous fights. Usyk, meanwhile, has forged his legend through relentless challenges, proving himself against the best in multiple divisions while earning respect for his character outside the ring. As the boxing world debates their places in history, one thing is clear: both men have redefined what it means to be great, albeit in profoundly different ways. Whether Mayweather returns for another payday or Usyk steps into the ring one last time, their legacies will continue to shape the sport for generations to come.